Studio, welcome.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, thank you, Bianca.
You're welcome. Good to have you back again. Right, let's start off. We just want to talk about meditation and dealing with stress and anxiety and how we can identify if we're stressed. Also, we're going to go through a meditation, so if you can start anywhere you like.
Absolutely. And again, thank you very much for having us. It's always a pleasure to be able to share things that you're very passionate about. So, as we know, there's really potentially an epidemic in the Western world where, we have never been more comfort or full of comforts in front of us, multiple worldly comforts, and yet still within us there's a sense of longing, a sense of wanting, and quite often a deep sense of unhappiness as well. So the way that we see it is, or the way that I see it, I should say, is that often we're constantly looking for those extrinsic gratifications which really never fulfill completely. And so, there seems to be that deeper longing which can only actually be found within us. We've got it there, right there with us all the time, and we're constantly looking outwardly for this sense of happiness. So meditation and yoga really helps us to connect with the present moment, to connect with the space of inner peace and a level of acceptance to whatever is. So even if things are perhaps not flowing quite like we would like it to be, we can still find that sense of peace with whatever is, because actually there is no other.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
if we can be accepting of the moment and what is, then it's not usually a problem. And one of my favourite sayings is, "This too shall pass." So whether it's a real wonderful happy moment or something that is perhaps causing us some pain or discomfort, it will pass. And if we can just be present in that actual human experience, it's actually all doable.
Beautifully said.
So,
excellent.
yeah, and when we look at also stress, which is a very popular topic, and a lot of people are feeling very stressed, it's actually, there's the positive stress, and which is quite empowering. Like if you are put in a situation where, you're up front on show and you have that level of bit of hyped up, bit of stress, it can actually increase your performance. And it can be really good. On the other hand, if it is the depleting sort of stress, and of course it can also cause physical and mental illness. So the positive one is more that motivating, so it actually motivates you to get up and do, and you're stimulating, and of course you're working at your level of your best ability. Whereas the more negative sort of stress, really you are in that constant fight or flight mode. Yeah. And as we know, if you're in that constant engagement of the sympathetic nervous system, you're going to become very depleted very quickly. And I think a lot of people are feeling that.
Can you just explain what the sympathetic nervous system is?
So the sympathetic nervous system is what prepares the body for the fight or flight response, and for any potential danger, it sort of activates everything. So you're on high alert, and you're ready to go. You're ready to survive. And on the other hand, this parasympathetic nervous system inhibits the body from that overwork and actually helps us to restore, and brings us back into that more calm, composed state. So, you need a balance of both, but we're not finding that space of how to switch off and how to release and relax.
So it's about finding that balance, isn't it, between the two? Because do we need a bit of stress to perform? Like you said, there's the good stress to perform and be on your A game.
Yes, absolutely right. Like the positive stress, like we just already explained, we call it eustress, So stress in general sense, you should consider it like it's a response to any trigger, So trigger can be like we are sitting here talking to our listeners so that we can present something good. That's also a positive stress, right? Which helps us to perform better. But even if the positive stress stay there for a longer time, it will become a negative stress, which is called as distress, right? So these things, those triggers, because we are, surrounded by triggers all day, starting from the, waking up and then getting ready for the job, getting kids ready, reaching to the job, getting all your work done, all your tasks done during the day. So all one trigger after another, trigger. So that's where sympathetic nervous system kicks in, and it will help you to, keep on doing those tasks and all. But in the meanwhile, during the whole day, your parasympathetic nervous system will have no time to bring it back to the optimum normal level. So by the years and years of continuation stress engagement, what will happen is body will set itself to a new normal, which is not a normal thing. That's where the problem starts. We usually don't recognize it, but yes, it is the problem. And that's why, it's very important to talk about this, how yoga and meditation can help you get rid of that. Stress is inevitable, but yes, it can be managed. If you can recognize the stress is building up upon you, if you have the right tools with you, you can help curb it before it overpowers you, or before it will present itself and settle itself in your body as some sort of physical disease.
And so how do people know when it's not good? Like, we were saying that it can feel like normal. The new norm is the stress. How can we check in and identify if we're stressed?
Yeah, there are many steps according to yogic philosophy, and there is a concept known as pancha kosha. Panch means 5, kosha means the sheath. So there are 5 sheaths of existence, and the yoga therapeutic part is based on those theories, and principles taken from pancha kosha are used in the therapeutic part of yoga to give person sort of relaxation and all. So the first one is the annamaya, or the food sheath, because grossly we are made of food, what we eat, right? Second is the pranamaya kosha, or the breath. We call it breath in a very general sense, but it is actually the vital force. That is what make you alive. Third is the manomaya, or the mental sheath, because you are not only physical, but you have a mental dimension as well to your existence. Fourth is the vijnanamaya. Vijnana means the special knowledge. Vishesha jnana, special knowledge, is called vijnana, like science. Science is a special knowledge, right? And last is the anandamaya, which is called as total bliss or happiness. So we mostly live at our gross level, or you can say the food sheath level, which is only the physical matters. But when, like you were asking about how one can recognize, the first is the disturbance in your breathing pattern. Second is like loss of appetite. Third is high blood pressure, even if you are not aware of that. High blood sugar levels, even if you are not aware of that. So these sort of things, they happen for a response that is triggered by something in our body. And if that trigger goes away, parasympathetic should bring it back to the normal level. But what usually happens is, because trigger after trigger, so it will stay raised. It will stay on the higher level, and slowly, by the passing of years and doing the same wrong things again and again, and staying in that stress again and again for years and years, it will settle down in your body as a high blood pressure, high blood sugar, all those sort of things. So that's why these are the lifestyle sort of diseases that we are struggling nowadays,
So hence we need to go to the doctor and get, like the yearly checkups that a lot of us don't do, or every 6 months or every year, to check blood pressure and things like that we can't check at home unless you've got a blood pressure machine, which some people do.
Those things are definitely important, to have those regular checkups. But also remember, you can do your own regular checkup as well. So it's those simple things. Do I have a good appetite?
Yes.
Does my body function like it should? Am I able to sleep? Do I feel rested?
Yeah.
Do I have energy? Do I have clarity in the mind? Or is my body full of aches and pains? Is my skin really bad? So you can actually really identify a lot of those symptoms. So the body's already telling you, but we don't always listen And so through the power of, or through the practice, should I say, of meditation, yoga, stillness, you know, you just even connection with breath is one of the biggest things to bring you back into that space of the here and now, which allows you to release and to relax. And being able to practice that will not only help you to come back into that state of you know, decreased stress, but you're able to actually tune in to yourself and to your surrounds as well.
Yeah, right. Of course, that makes sense to tune in. But and I was also just thinking for that added support, if people aren't tuning in correctly or they need the extra, just check at the doctor. That's what I thought too.
Definitely.
Do you still recommend?
Definitely,
like, once a year?
absolutely. Yes. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that that's really important too. I mean, we've got these amazing systems in place, and we are very, very fortunate where we live that we have that opportunity to keep well. And there are so many wonderful practitioners around that will help and support us.
I really like that idea of just checking with ourselves, because like we've talked about, the mind and the body has the intelligence, and if we tap into it, we know
Definitely.
how we feel.
We do
Foremost.
have
we know.
the intelligence for that. And I think it's also like any skill, you know, whether you're practicing sport, music, it needs practice, and it needs regular practice. And meditation or that connection with self, you need to constantly practice it. And we are getting further and further away from it because we get so caught up in the doing. And another one of my favourites is that we are human beings, not human doings.
Being.
Yeah.
I like that.
It is. It's good, isn't it?
Stick that one on my fridge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to stick it on the fridge, I'll just put it in here.
Yeah, that's right. It's there already.
Exactly. It's so interesting. Very nice.
Very good. So, you know, people say, well, should we practice meditation or yoga or mindfulness? Well, it's all really all of those things that we're talking about. We don't want to live in a state of dis-ease or disease. We want to live in a state of wellness, happiness and connection. And through these wonderful practices, it really helps us to do that. So, you know, there are some really simple techniques as well. It doesn't have to be this complicated series of procedures that you have to go through. Really, the very first thing that I would love to everybody to really connect with is their breath. So I think in a day, what is it, about 22 to 23,000 breaths that we take a day. And
we can take less if we breathe deeper and slower?
Well,
Is
we
it better?
can, but also how many times do you do that with awareness?
Yeah.
How many times have you actually connected and went, I'm taking a breath now? So we have been given this amazing gift of the breath, and we've been given this amazing gift of a moment. And each one gives us a new start. All that we need to do is connect with it and feel the sensations of the breath going in and out, perhaps taking a little bit of a deeper breath, and straight away it brings us back into the space of where we are, and rather than in that space of, oh my gosh, I should have done that, and why didn't I, and all of that sort of baggage that you're bringing in from previous experiences. They're these impressions that we bring into this moment, and we're actually living, we're not living the truth, we're not actually living because we're just bringing these impressions in which aren't actually there. And then on the other hand, we are so worried and concerned about what's coming up in the future and what if this could happen and this and this and this. And so we're constantly going backwards and forwards and missing our actual life.
Exactly. And it would affect the breath. When you were just saying that, and, you know, I thought of times when I've been worrying or stressed, and it would affect your breath, because I just had the thought, and you know, you check in and you feel that you breathe differently when you're calm, when you're stressed, or we all feel calm sometimes, we all feel stressed, so we know that affects the breath.
Absolutely. And if we just take that bit more of a longer breath, just a bit of a deeper inhalation and a deeper exhalation, everything just settles.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge is remembering. Sometimes, you know, you will do your meditation or your relaxation in the morning, And then off you go into the day, and at the end of the day, you go, well, I missed all of that because you weren't aware, you weren't in that present moment. And so these little practices that we can do, even throughout the day, and I think you'll be in agreement, Dr. Sharma, to say we don't do yoga, we live yoga. So, and really it doesn't matter what your, I suppose, faith or your belief is. If you really live it and breathe it, and it becomes a part of you, then you are going to come back into being that best possible you.
Amazing. Such wisdom. Excellent. Excellent. I just want to highlight one bit you said that I liked as well was every breath that is a new... How did you say? I want you to... If I say it will be different, but you said something like each new breath is a new start.
That's right. It
like
gives
that.
us a new, fresh opportunity every moment. And so it's not what we could have or should have done, but what is it now? So your intention for each moment is so powerful, but not only in your action or in your words, but in your intention and your thoughts. So last night we had our beautiful Self for Women forum, which was just really lovely.
Oh, was it Wednesday? I thought it was Tuesday.
2 nights ago.
Oh, yeah,
Gosh,
yeah,
I missed
good.
it.
Beautiful.
So it was Tuesday night, sorry.
Tell us about that. How did that go?
It was wonderful. So we were bringing in, talking about yoga and not being just those postures that we do. It's not a gym workout, and we don't go in and do yoga, but as I said before, it's that living yoga. And there are actually 8 branches of yoga, and the first 2 being our ethical principles and a way of living. And the very first one, the ahimsa, which is non-violence. And we were exploring what that looks like in our life. So not only the obvious of that physical violence, quite often I also say to my clients, well, what characters do you actually allow into your home? When you turn on the TV, you are allowing the presence and the energy of these sometimes undesirable people or characters, like in a movie, to come into your space. And that's really a form of violence. But also
100%.
coming down even to the violence of your own thoughts and their own negative thoughts for the self. So with this awareness of these techniques and coming into the breath, coming into the moment, you then are not so much as a reaction, but you are coming from that place of action and complete consciousness and mindfulness.
When you say that, what comes to mind as well is though, what about when you live with other people that do something different? It makes me laugh because I've been telling my partner, that not telling, but just noticing that since I'm becoming a bit different, I'm noticing the news that we both used to watch together. These certain presenters on these evening news platforms, which of course I'm not going to say. Each presenter is very negative, whinge, and I've recognised that that's their job now. I mean, I realised that before, but more so now, because it's the same thing every night. But that's why people watch, because they want to get fired up. And this presenter even says, we're going to get fired up this hour. And my husband gets fired up and he's upset. And I said, really? We had heard this last night. They just regurgitate it in a different way. And
Yeah, I want to add on something what you said just now. Not only news, anything, any series, any serial, or whatever you watch or read or think about, that's what Beatrice is saying, that it's not only what you see, what you speak, what you think, they all contribute, right? So, and our senses are designed in such a way that they try to find some sort of exciting experience all the time. And that is also a part of the 8-step yoga. It's called pratyahara. It's called, withdrawing your senses from their sense objects. So it is a very big practice actually. So whatever is disturbing there, do not accept that. Be indifferent. That's what yoga teaches.
Indifferent, that's a good, 100%.
Be neutral, you know. So that's why people say that, oh, I heard that made me very sad, and I was, not in myself, I was feeling very disturbed, and these sort of things. It's okay. Raise your sattva or your power so that these things should not be able to disturb you. So, and this is a universal law that stronger will curb the weaker one. So choice is yours. You want to be a stronger one, that these things will not affect you, or you want to be a weaker one, that whatever and anything and everything, whatever whoever is saying is affecting you. If each and every word that you hear around you is affecting you, that means we need to strengthen our system. So be indifferent. Just don't pay attention. Don't think about those things.
Excellent advice. It makes sense, it's logical, and then I
It
think,
is.
why didn't I think that?
That's why we are here.
That's why you're here. See, it's come full circle.
That's right, but that's also, I mean, you have already brought it into awareness that no longer serves you. Having that practice of watching the news every night. And so then it comes down to a choice. We all have choices.
Oh, of course.
And in each situation, in each moment, we have a choice. But if we're not in the moment, then the choice is not actually made consciously.
That's right.
And
This
that's,
becomes a habit. Things
or
become
we just
habitual.
get drawn into the surrounds, and it's not coming from that place of intuition, from that place of connection with true self.
That's right. Very nice.
So what I often say is just practice. And it's not like, oh, I did bad, but it's awareness of that situation.
Yes.
How am I going to bring that experience and, be more aware in this one?
Yeah. And by saying practice, I think it would be a right time to go into a practice, which is...
It's probably a very good idea.
Very good time.
Yes. So today, there's lots of people say, oh, I can't meditate. It's a big thing. Because then as soon as we fall still and come into that space of silence, it can be a little bit confronting. It can be a little bit uncomfortable. We don't necessarily like space and silence, although that's what we are actually yearning for. So I really encourage our dear listeners to just give it a go and explore the sensation. So not so much of what you're thinking, but more into how you are feeling. So when we have those spaces of silence, the mind loves to jump in, right? And it loves to go off, and it will take you all around the world. From the past to the future to everywhere. And then by the end of the meditation, you're absolutely exhausted. So
That's it.
Number one, I suppose, is that awareness that we are not the body, we are not the mind. And the mind is become very, very powerful because it takes us on a ride. So it's really meditation or mindfulness, moments of stillness, moments of awareness, whatever you might like to call it, is a relaxation and release for the body so that it can just let go and relax. And sleep often isn't very relaxing for a lot of people.
Yes.
You know, they wake up and their jaws are clenched and they feel exhausted when they wake up in the morning. So if we can, really start reminding ourselves, what does it feel like for my body to be relaxed? And then at the same time, what does it feel like for my mind just to be? So we don't want to suppress the thoughts. That's the other thing too, because people just go, oh, I just keep thinking. Well, it's a really good thing to keep thinking because that's what the mind does. So I think it was Sadhguru said,
That's true.
you don't want your heart to stop.
Yeah.
So why do you want your mind to stop?
Yeah.
It's just that we don't want it to rule us.
Perfect.
So number one, as we were talking about, is the breath. And there's a very easy, very simple technique, just equal breathing. So if everybody would like to, if you're in a situation at home where you can come into a space of stillness. So environment is of course very important as well. If you can, find yourself a spot where you will be undisturbed, perhaps turn the phones off, and just somewhere where there is that little space of calm and stillness. And eventually at home, it'll be really great to find your little corner where that can be your relaxation or your meditation corner. So with equal breathing, and if you are driving and listening to this, you can, of course, come into awareness of your breath, absolutely. Obviously, leaving the eyes open and still remaining very aware. If, however, you are fortunate enough that you are in a relaxed seated position, you can do this, of course, lying down as well. So if you are seated, lying down, let's bring ourselves just into awareness. The very first thing that we can do to really feel that grounding and that level of connectedness with the moment is to feel the soles of the feet. Feel the soles of the feet. They might be on the floor, or they might be inside your shoes or socks. Just bring an awareness to the sensations of the soles of the feet. And then a very first relaxation technique that we're going to do today is equal breathing. So this is where we feel the sensations of the breath going in and out, but we do this with attention and awareness. So gently closing the eyes and coming into awareness of the breath. No need to change anything, just awareness. Becoming aware now of the sensations of the air as it travels up through the nostrils and back out again. There may be slight coolness on the way in, and perhaps a little bit of warmth on the exhalation. You can continue breathing in and out through the nostrils and following the breath now as it comes up through the nostrils, down the throat and expanding into the lungs. So with your mind's attention, with your awareness, it's following the flow of the breath as it travels in the body and out. We can allow the mind now just to gently bring its awareness into the equal breathing. As we breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and we breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. And breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and gently honouring the pause. Then exhale, 2, 3, 4, and pause. Let's do 2 more as we breathe in and out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then gently, in your own time, bring awareness now back into the sensations in the soles of the feet. moving the fingers. And when you're ready, gently opening the eyes. So that is a practice that we can do at any time of the day. And it really helps us to bring us right back into the present moment. It's a beautiful thing to remember about the breath. If you're feeling a little sluggish in the morning, make your inhalation a little bit deeper. So really expand and feel the whole body just really invigorated with the breath. If, however, you're feeling a little bit anxious and overwhelmed, then you breathe in, then you breathe out a little longer. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you continue that and breathe out for 6, breathe out for 7, breathe out for 8. So it really calms down the whole system. It's really, really powerful.
Amazing. Thanks. Very nice. I didn't want to fall asleep then, so I was still making sure I was awake. That wouldn't be good. You'd have to come around here and...
That's right, exactly. So, I mean, these techniques, sometimes you do fall asleep, and it is actually a good one to help you to go to sleep. But the practice is awareness with the relaxation.
Right, so the aim is to not fall asleep.
That's right. So consciously relaxing and releasing without actually that part of sleep, but it can often lead to sleep. So that's very, very possible.
Have you got that on a podcast or something so people can, when they're calming down at night, or are you going to think of doing something like that?
It's a work in progress,
yeah, because you've got the voice for it.
Yeah, we're working on that,
that
and
would be
very
your own
soon.
CDs or something that we can buy.
That's right. So it can be really helpful when it's guided. Like last night, I had my lovely yoga ladies come in and we did a restorative yoga class where the focus is on how to relax through the body, through the breath, through the mind. So the breath actually brings alignment with the mind and the body and allows it to be working in balance. So it's so powerful,
Amazing.
The breath, and we have it all the time. If we don't
Yes.
have it, we don't exist anymore, do we?
Yeah, and taking consideration of these simple but very effective principles, we do design personal yoga protocols for people who need them. We do make tailor-made modules to give them the therapeutic effects of yoga to our clients. So anybody having any sort of issues with stress, anxiety, any sort of sleep deprivation, digestion issues. So there are different types of yoga therapies which can help you to, improve yourself and improve your well-being, improve your overall health, taking consideration of physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions in all together.
Yeah.
So I will request all the listeners, whenever they want our help, you know where to find us, East West Ayurveda and Yoga, 271 The Parade, Norwood, and always welcome. Please feel free to contact us.
Beautiful. And how many people have you got working there again?
We are a team of 4.
4.
So we have 2 Ayurvedic doctors. One is me, one is Dr. Jaspreet Singh with us, and we have our lovely Beatrice and Lee, you already know. So wonderful team. We have all sort of facilities to match to any requirements of our clients. So we are a pretty confident team.
Now, we said we could only have 2 in at a time, but I only found out today, actually, just before you both came in the studio, the previous presenter told me, or I think it was released today, that we can have 4 in the studio now.
Wonderful.
So we could probably have all 4 of you.
We'll have the whole
and
team
have
in.
4 lots of wisdom.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
good idea.
Yes.
We'll work on that.
Because our listeners are really enjoying it.
Oh,
We
beautiful.
want to be healthy now. In the past year with COVID, I think people are more aware of that. To be healthy physically, you exercise, eat well. There's more awareness in the world. People are
Definitely.
really appreciating the the wisdom you're sharing. So thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And, you know, as always, you always have more prepared than is time for, because we often go in other directions. So
Yeah.
there are so many different beautiful meditation techniques, but they are, you know, short ones as well. You don't have to have this full long meditation.
Yeah.
But just if we can help you to find empowerment to be able to really release and relax and start really enjoying life again,
Exactly.
instead of just, I mean, how many people say to you, how are you? Oh, I'm so busy.
Oh, that's what
I'm
we
so
hear.
stressed.
That's right.
We don't need to be.
Beautiful.
So
Thank you
we
both.
would love to sort of, you know, reach out to the community and be there for you. So feel free to contact us, and we've got a lot to offer. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you. And we can go to your Facebook page or website,
Yes, yes.
both,
Absolutely, yeah.
to see what services you offer.
Yes, or even better, just give us a call, and then
Yeah,
we can,
better.
you know, directly steer you into the direction of what's going to be the best thing for you. And our yoga classes, we can serve those online as well. So if anybody, you know, is you know, can't travel to where we are, we can do them online.
There are a lot of people doing that, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's great to be able to offer both.
It's a good plan B.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Thank you for
Glad
having
to
us.
see
I just
Wonderful
want to thank
again.
you
Yes,
to
it's
our
our
listeners,
pleasure. Yes,
to
thank you very
giving
much.
us so much love and affection, and giving us good feedback as well.
Yes.
So thank you very much again.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the biggest thank you to Bianca,
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Isn't
Oh,
she
you're
wonderful?
welcome.
She's
You're
pretty
welcome.
awesome.
because you are the one who connects us with the listeners. So big thank you to you.
Oh,
Yes.
pleasure. Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you. Bye.
Lovely. That was good.